The hidden treasures in your pocket change, America's most valuable modern pennies. Have you ever considered that the spare change sitting in your dresser drawer could be worth thousands? Today, we're diving deep into 3 seemingly ordinary pennies that command extraordinary prices. While most collectors chase Buffalo nickels and Morgan dollars, these modern Lincoln cents are the sleeper hits of numismatics that both established collectors and everyday Americans should be watching for. What makes these particular pennies from 2011, 2019, and 1963 worth hundreds or even thousands of times their face value? Let's uncover these copper treasures hiding in plain sight. Our first coin takes us back just over a decade to 2011, when the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced what would become one of the most intriguing modern eras in American coinage. The 2011 Lincoln Shield penny might seem unremarkable at first glance. After all, billions were produced that year. But among those billions lurks a fascinating variant that has the numismatic world buzzing. In 2011, the Lincoln Shield design was still relatively new, having replaced the Lincoln Bicentennial reverses used in 2009. The standard 2011 penny featured Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, a design meant to symbolize Lincoln's preservation of the United States as one nation. However, something unusual happened during production at the Philadelphia Mint. A small number of these 2011 pennies were struck without the crucial mint mark. While Philadelphia pennies traditionally didn't carry a mint mark before 1980, by 2011 the P mint mark had become standard. What makes this error particularly unusual is that the mint mark is now added to the working dies themselves, rather than being punched individually into each coin as in decades past. This means the entire batch of dies used for these coins was missing the mint mark, a significant quality control oversight. The missing mint mark wasn't immediately noticed when these pennies entered circulation. It wasn't until 2017 that sharp-eyed collectors began finding these coins and recognizing their significance. Unlike many error coins that show obvious physical deformities, these look perfectly normal except for the absent P where it should appear under the date. Authentication is crucial with these pennies, as the difference is subtle enough that casual observers might miss it entirely. Under magnification, the area beneath the date on genuine examples shows absolutely no trace of the mint mark, not even an impression where it should be. This distinguishes them from coins where the mint mark might have been filled in with dirt or worn away. What makes this error particularly valuable is its modern nature. While error coins from earlier periods are somewhat expected due to less sophisticated quality control, modern minting processes include multiple inspection points specifically designed to catch these mistakes. The fact that these coins made it into circulation represents a fascinating breakdown in the mint's quality assurance protocols. In terms of market value, these 2011 no-mint mark pennies have seen remarkable appreciation. In circulated condition, they typically sell for $25 to $50, while uncirculated examples can command $100 to $200. The real premium comes with professionally graded specimens. A 2011 Philadelphia penny in MS-67 condition, near perfect, without the mint mark has sold for over $800 at auction. One exceptional MS-68 example fetched nearly $1,500 in a 2023 Heritage auction. The value varies dramatically based on condition. This is particularly important with modern coins where the difference between mint state grades can multiply the value several times over. A coin graded MS-65 might sell for $300, while the same coin in MS-67 could bring 3 times that amount. The premium for red specimens, those retaining their original copper luster without any darkening, can be substantial compared to brown examples that have begun to tone. Interestingly, the 2011 no-mint mark penny has a connection to another famous mint error from decades earlier. In 1922, the Denver Mint produced a batch of pennies where the D mint mark was either extremely weak or entirely absent. These 1922 plain pennies are now among the most valuable Lincoln cents, with fine examples selling for thousands. Collectors often draw parallels between these two eras, separated by nearly 90 years but similar in nature. There's also a fascinating human element to this story. A Florida collector named Robert Ford was among the first to identify these coins in circulation. After finding his first example while going through penny rolls from his bank, he began a methodical search that yielded several more specimens. His discovery and subsequent documentation helped establish the legitimacy of this era variety. What makes the hunt for these pennies particularly exciting is that they're still potentially in circulation. Unlike many valuable coins that were recognized early and pulled from circulation decades ago, these 2011 pennies entered the economy normally, and many remain undiscovered in pocket change, penny jars, and bank rolls across America. There could literally be a $500 coin in your change from this morning's coffee run. For collectors, the thrill of the hunt makes these modern rarities particularly appealing. While anyone can purchase a recognized rare coin if they have the funds, finding an unattributed treasure in circulation represents the purest form of the hobby, the numismatic equivalent of discovering a masterpiece painting at a garage sale. This accessibility, the fact that these valuable coins can be found by anyone who looks carefully enough, brings new collectors into the hobby each year. Now let's travel forward to 2019, when an extraordinary minting error created what many consider the king of modern Lincoln cent varieties, the 2019 W reverse proof Lincoln penny. Unlike our previous coin, this wasn't an accident but rather a deliberate special release that became unexpectedly scarce. The story begins with the U.S. Mint celebration of the 110th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. To commemorate this milestone, they did something unprecedented. They released the first-ever Lincoln cent with the W mint mark from West Point. Now, West Point is famous for producing gold coins and commemoratives, not everyday circulation coins. This alone made the 2019 W pennies special, but there's much more to this story. These weren't just standard pennies, they were struck in reverse proof finish. If you're not familiar with reverse proof, imagine the traditional proof coin with its mirror-like fields and frosted raised elements, then flip it. The fields are frosted while Lincoln's portrait and other raised features have a brilliant, polished finish. The visual effect is absolutely stunning, creating dramatic contrast that makes the design elements seem to float above the coin's surface. What really sets these 2019 W reverse proof pennies apart is their distribution method. They weren't sold directly to collectors. Instead, the Mint included them as a free bonus in the 2019 silver proof set. Only 10,000 of these special cents were produced, making them instantly scarce. Compare that to the billions of regular pennies minted each year, and you can see why collectors went wild. The market response was immediate and intense. Within days of release, these single pennies were selling for $600 to $800. Remember, they came free with a $60 proof set. The frenzy caused many collectors to purchase multiple proof sets just to obtain these pennies. By late 2019, professionally graded examples in perfect condition were commanding $3,000 or more at auction. Today, even in the volatile rare coin market, these 2019 W reverse proof pennies continue to appreciate. A perfect specimen graded PR 70 by PCGS or NGC, the top grading services, can fetch $2,500 to $3,500. Even examples with minor imperfections in the PR 68 range still regularly sell for $1,000 to $1,500. For a coin issued just a few years ago, this performance is nothing short of remarkable. What makes authentication particularly important with these coins is that they should show absolutely perfect striking quality. The West Point Mint is known for exceptional craftsmanship, and these special release coins received extra attention during production. Under magnification, the fields should be uniformly frosted with no disturbances, and the polished elements should be flawlessly reflective. The W mint mark, located below the date on the obverse, should be crisp and well-defined. There's an interesting side note about the significance of the W mint mark that adds to this coin's appeal. Before 2019, the West Point Mint had never produced a Lincoln cent for circulation or collectors. This makes the 2019 W not just a rare variety but a historic first, the inaugural West Point Lincoln cent. For collectors who focus on mint marks and production history, this represents a significant milestone in American numismatic history. The condition of these coins is particularly critical to their value. Because they were issued directly to collectors and never intended for circulation, they should be pristine. Even minor handling marks or fingerprints can dramatically reduce their value. This is why many collectors left these pennies in their original packaging or immediately sent them for professional grading and encapsulation. What I find particularly fascinating about these 2019 W pennies is how they represent a shift in mint strategy. By creating artificial scarcity and using these special coins as incentives to purchase larger sets, the mint generated tremendous excitement within the hobby. This approach has since become more common, with special mint mark coins being included as bonuses in various product offerings. Let's turn our attention now to our third featured coin, which takes us back to the turbulent year of 1963, a time of cultural and political transformation in America, and also the year of a remarkable penny variety that continues to captivate collectors. The 1963 Lincoln cent is special because of what's known as a doubled die obverse. Now, the term doubled die often confuses people who are new to numismatics. It doesn't mean the coin was struck twice, rather, it refers to a manufacturing error in the creation of the die used to strike the coins. During the die-making process, the hub that imprints the design onto the die shifted between impressions, creating a die with certain elements appearing doubled. On the 1963 doubled die penny, this doubling is most prominent on the date and the word Liberty. When examined under magnification, you can clearly see a secondary impression slightly offset from the primary elements. This creates what appears to be a shadow or echo of the lettering. It's particularly visible in the numerals of 1963 and in the letters LIB in Liberty. The motto, "In God We Trust," also shows some doubling, though it's less pronounced. What makes the 1963 doubled die especially valuable is its relative scarcity combined with its strong visual appeal. Unlike some doubled dies where you need significant magnification to spot the doubling, the 1963 variety shows obvious doubling visible to the naked eye once you know what to look for. This dramatic error, combined with the historical significance of coins from 1963, the year of Kennedy's assassination, gives these pennies particular appeal to both error collectors and historical collectors. The market history of the 1963 doubled die penny is fascinating. Unlike some varieties that were discovered immediately, these weren't widely recognized until the late 1970s, allowing many to circulate unnoticed for years. When prominent numismatist Walter Breen documented this variety in his comprehensive reference works, collector interest surged. Since then, these coins have steadily appreciated, with periodic jumps when new collectors discover their appeal. In terms of current market value, circulated examples typically sell in the $25 to $100 range depending on condition, while uncirculated specimens can command $200 to $600. The premium examples in MS-65 or better condition, with full original red coloration, have fetched over $1,500 at major auctions. One particularly stunning MS-67 red example sold for just over $3,000 in a 2022 Heritage auction. The condition spectrum for these coins is particularly important to understand. Most 1963 double die pennies were discovered after some time in circulation, so finding pristine examples is challenging. The red-brown, RB, and brown, BN, designations indicate coins that have lost some or all of their original copper luster. While pure red, RD, examples command significant premiums, even brown examples with clear doubling are valuable and sought after by error collectors. There's an interesting authentication challenge with these coins. Since the doubling occurs on common date pennies, there have been attempts to create counterfeit double dies by manipulating regular 1963 cents. True double dies will show consistent doubling patterns in specific areas, while mechanical doublings or post-mint damage have different characteristics. Having the coin authenticated by a major grading service is particularly important with this variety. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1963 double die is how it connects to the broader history of notable Lincoln cent errors. While not as famous as the legendary 1955 double die, which can sell for tens of thousands of dollars, the 1963 represents a more accessible entry point for collectors interested in major die varieties. It's significant enough to be valuable but not so rare as to be unobtainable for the average collector. Like our other featured coins, part of the appeal of the 1963 double die cent is that undiscovered examples may still be circulating. While the odds of finding one in your change are slim, they're not zero, which adds an element of treasure hunting excitement to the hobby. Several collectors have reported finding these valuable pennies in bank rolls or inherited collections where they went unrecognized for decades. When we look at these three pennies together, the 2011 no mint mark, the 2019 W reverse proof, and the 1963 double die, we see that extraordinary value can exist in the most common denomination in American pockets. While most of us walk around with pennies we consider essentially worthless, these particular examples demonstrate that sometimes treasure hides in plain sight. For collectors, these coins represent different facets of numismatic appeal, production errors, special issues, and die varieties. Each has its own unique history and characteristics that make it valuable. Whether you're an established collector looking to expand into modern rarities or someone curious about the potential value of that jar of pennies on your dresser, these coins offer a compelling reminder that in numismatics, face value rarely tells the whole story. So next time you receive change, take a moment to look at those pennies. Check the dates and details. You never know, that single cent might be worth thousands of dollars to the right collector. In the world of rare coins, even the humblest penny can hold extraordinary value. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of America's valuable modern pennies. Until next time, happy collecting.